My name's Jacob Bannon from Converge, and you're listening and watching Talking Records.
I think it's safe to say that visual arts are equally as important to you as music, but which one of them showed up in your life first?
I grew up just like anybody else, just paying attention to everything around me, right? So I would imagine it was probably just getting interested in just visual stuff overall. My father was a fine artist and worked in the design world, and so I was familiar with what that was. Probably discovered music right around the same time in some capacity. So just learning about the creative world, and and what you know, and how it connects with you. I think everyone kind of hits it at an early point, probably around the same time. It's not either an either or kind of thing.
But when you were getting into music and you were already doing some graphic art, did you knew from the start that you will want to combine those two things?
Um, Not necessarily. I just wanted to make music with my friends and make music that was, I don't know, that just moved me in some way, just like we still do now. And then the working as a designer for our own band and sort of art director for our own band, I think that just kind of comes with being an average punk band, hardcore band. You do everything yourself. It's no different in the trajectory than most bands, sort of kind of develop this sort of collective character of what you want to do and what you want to be, and then try to give it voice. I think over time it starts to kind of flesh itself out, but no specific portion of it occupies more creative space for me.
Would you say that music and graphic are in a way complementary? Like when you can express something through graphic that you wouldn't be able to express through music, or the other way around?
Sure. Well, that's the beauty of recorded music, right? It's the beauty of a band shirt. It's the beauty of an album. You have this big collaborative project that has all these different cool moving parts. You got the lyrical prose, you have the visuals, you have the power of the music, the power of the riffs, and the emotional dynamics that are interwoven throughout all of those things. To me, it's just a beautiful, multifaceted art form.
You've created a lot of cover arts, booklets, with stuff like gatefolds, complete packagings. So does it bother you that in these days music is more and more consumed through the streaming services?
The audience for those things has always been quite small in our world in terms of like punk rock and aggressive music. It's not like a giant public at large has paid attention to an aggressive band like ourselves. So the people that tend to connect with a band like ourselves, or any of the ones that are playing on this show, tend to value the sort of total physical package of a record and that kind of experience. But it's not to say that's the only one or the best one. Everybody everybody comes into music and this subculture from different places. Coming at it from that perspective, going, like, for me, it was like going to buy band shirts. I usually bought band shirts and I bought cassettes when I was a kid because cassettes were cheaper, and band shirts there weren't that many of a band shirt, and I liked that idea of having something that was rare and special that connected me to the music that I loved and I appreciated. Some people love vinyl. Some people still love CDs. Some people don't care about any physical media and they just connect with the songs, and that's okay too.
Are you a music collector? Do you like to have the record, the CD?
I don't really collect too much. I mean, I have some things. I usually go through phases of collecting an artist for a little while, and then I usually just give things away or just get rid of it in some manner. I'm more concerned with making things. I like making things. I like being part of propelling new music out there and new projects, whether it be my own bands or working for the record label that I own, a distribution company with the other guys back at home. I enjoy being part of that and getting things out there more so than consuming for me.
Over the years, you've kind of become this one-man institution. You have multiple musical projects, you have a label, you make graphic work for clients.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to make a living of being an independent artist, which can be inspiring for some people.
Kurt, our guitarist, and I talk about it pretty often, but oftentimes when people ask us for any sort of opinions on that kind of subject or what to do or advice, it's just like, just put your head down and do the work. That's it. Just, if you want to be a designer, do design work, put yourself out there, make the work. You want to be a musician, write songs and do things that connect with you. There's no easy road in it. Any of this is, you're not going to become a wealthy individual. If that's your end game, this is the wrong place for you to be. This is a labor of love. We're all working class musicians that are just your average middle class Americans in our situation. I just happen to basically work 3.5 jobs to make that middle class thing happen. They all happen to be rooted in either being creative or promoting other people's creative endeavors, and that's a good thing.
You made this collaborative album with Chelsea Wolf, Stephen Brodsky, and Ben Chisholm, Blood Moon 1. Was this project a breath of creative fresh air that you needed at the moment in Converge formula?
Well, we don't really have a formula as a band, so I don't know if we needed a breath of fresh air per se. We just like challenges, and it was something that we wanted to do for a while. I know Kurt had the idea of trying to do something more than just the core four of us for years. In 2009, 2008 and 9 started to lay the foundation of that a little bit. And we started writing some music with the Cave-In guys. We even demoed some songs together as one big group with 2 drummers and stuff. And we were having, fun with that idea, but there just really wasn't time to basically finish it or take it any further. And so we always had that sort of door open and said, let's do something bigger and a little more grandiose than the typical, 4-piece punk rock band.
The recording process of Bannon was disrupted by the lockdown. Was there a big difference between working in a studio together, when there is this chemistry between people, and sending files to each other, communicating via Zoom?
It was definitely a challenge, more so for Kurt than anybody. But we pulled it together. It's tough to tell what it would have been like without that, because we didn't experience it without that. Hopefully in the future, if and when we can finish things that we've started with Blood Moon and continue working on that, then we'll see how it is on the other side.
What's happening with Blood Moon 2? Is there a plan for it, and is it going to be made with the same lineup?
There is a Blood Moon 2 and hopefully more. We recorded a lot of music when we initially did the first Blood Moon sessions, and it's just sort of mutating and evolving into its own thing. Definitely Ben and Chelsea are involved, and Steve's involved. We might have some other people work with us too that are friends, and just put something together that's just sonically interesting to us. Well, we'll get there. It's just there's only so much time in the day, and we want to be able to travel and do our normal bands too. So we're trying to make time for it. We will.
When it comes to the discography of Converge, one word that I would use to describe it is extremely consistent. If someone says that this album is his favorite, you would say, okay, that makes sense. But obviously there is this cult surrounding Jane Doe, right? And now, over 20 years later, after the release of it, how do you feel about this album?
I'm a fan of music as well, so I romanticize records as well, and I connect with certain artists' records, but that doesn't mean that those artists, like the Rolling Stones, for example, I'll listen to Sticky Fingers all day, or Some Girls all day, over Steel Wheels. That's just me. Somebody might be a Steel Wheels person. It really depends on the person. So I feel that all of those opinions are valid, because they're not something that can be controlled by the creator of the music. Once you create it and put it out in the world, people connect with it or don't. And I think that that entry point is different for all folks. And so if it's for Converge, if it's early Converge, if it's like Petitioning and Went Forever, the old stuff, it's a Chain record, You Fail Me, whatever, it's valid. We're just happy that people have taken the time to listen to an aggressive band like us and have cut through the noise to understand what we're trying to do is something a little different.
Thank you for watching my interview with Jacob Bannon from Converge. Next to my head you will find other videos on my channel, and I will see you next time.